Hello, and welcome to Not Just Books, the library's monthly show about what is happening in your community and at the Williamson County Public Library. Today we have two very special guests. We have County Commissioner Paul Webb and County Mayor Rogers Anderson. Thank you both so much for being here today.
Well, thank you. Glad to be here myself.
It's a pleasure to be invited. Thank you, Dolores.
Good. We have kicked off today a very special event called the Mayor's Challenge. And back during budget season, the mayor challenged me to bring in more people to the library and get library cards. So that's what this is going to do, Mayor. We're going to bring in a lot of folks to get library cards. And let's talk a little bit about why the library is important. I'm going to start with Commissioner Webb.
Well, you know, a good community needs a good library. I think we've seen that through the ages. It shows a community that values education. And today's libraries, 21st century library, is a source of story time for children. Many people will think, well, Google is where you do research, but we have research librarians at the libraries. And then being someone that looks at fiscal responsibilities, why should I go out and buy a book when I can go to the library and check it out? And if I want to reread it, I can check it out again. And that also saves space. I don't have to buy a bookshelf. So libraries offer a lot of things many people are not aware of. And you can also, with the electronic library, have resources through the state of Tennessee for magazines, video programs, and at the Williams County Library, you might want to rent out a DVD or some kind of video for your children or yourself that you might not buy or look at it before you buy it. So there are many opportunities that the library has that I think many of the citizens don't appreciate.
Mayor, how do you see the library's role in the community?
Well, I think it's a critical piece of our infrastructure. We don't think of libraries like we do with roads and parks and recs, but the library, the whole branch, the whole instrument of a public place where people can go and check out books such as Mr. Webb has indicated, and during this particular time that we're all having to wear masks, the ability to be able to go into the library system, check out books through e-filing, e-blasting is what some people call, but it's the ability to go on. I have found over the last 8 or 9 months that we've been going through this process that I don't always check out a book at a library, but I have done more reading in this last 8 or 9 months. I think part of that is just to escape and get away from the current environments that we're in. So the libraries are very important to our community, but I think more so than that, people several years ago, Paul, were talking about with all of the electronic devices we have, that libraries would become like a dinosaur. They'd be extinct. And quite the opposite has happened.
Right.
And with technology and you through the library board and friends of the library throughout our community have continually stressed the importance of people going, and particularly our children, story time, storytelling, reading to, all of those are critical components to make your community a better community, an educated community. And we all know that public education, just education in general in our county, is one of the highest priorities that we have.
Yes, and I see the library's part of that the role of educating children, especially with early literacy. It's very important. And libraries, and a lot of people may not know this, libraries are good at adapting when a change comes along. And a lot of folks said back when the Webb kicked in the mid-90s, well, that's gonna end libraries. But it didn't. It's brought more people in to learn how to use it and to have experts explain the difference between a reliable source, a credible source, and a not credible source. So it hasn't went away at all. And I was wanting to have Commissioner Webb talk about, we are now at the library offering a digital library card where you can sign up on the website, wcpltn.org, and have digital access to our ebooks, our streaming service such as Hoopla. So go ahead, Commissioner Webb.
Well, I think that's the key thing, WCPL-TN, Williams County Public Library, TN.org. And let's put this out. Many people still have the perception that you have to pay for a library card. This is a public service of our community through your tax dollars and donations and grants from the local community as well as from the state of Tennessee. And so it's a way to reach out to the outer world. If you can't get to the library or for some reason have never had a library card, you can go on the website and have a 45-day kind of trial before you buy an item. And I think you'll want to get it because as the library director, Dolores, has said, once you open the door to the library, this is something you're really going to want to have, whether it's through the Acorn TV series projects that you can get through the library. Many of the magazines and newspapers published are part of the Tennessee electronic library. And as both the mayor and Dolores had mentioned, we have books in the library, but many of those books are also available electronically, which you can check out under this electronic library card for a free trial before you even come in to get your library card. And I will say, Doris, just while we're talking about it, it's really easy to get a library card. Fill out a form, show an ID that you're a member of resident of Williamson County, and you have a library card. And I guess, Dolores, each member of the family to age, what are the youngest you can get?
Any age.
So I know from my experience, my granddaughters, one is 5 and one is 7, they both have their own library card at the Brentwood Library. And that's the closest library to them, and love going to the library for the children's programs. And I'll just go around to see this. If you're on the electronic library programs, I'm a recent graduate of the Master Gardener program, and they put on series of how to garden. There are crafts that are shown on that, and this is for all ages. And when we get back to the normals, we will see many more programs coming up, and we've learned if we have a live program for the library, we want to have an electronic version as well.
Yes.
So coming in, signing in electronically to the library opens up a world that many people haven't experienced.
One of the things that we've been doing is we work with the Alzheimer's Association, and we'll have a series of workshops. And we were doing this before the pandemic hit, and now we're doing them digitally. And I think that's something that is good to offer even when we have more people coming into the building. Because remote access is something that people will use, I think, continuing after this. And we also have the curbside service coming in. You can request a book and then come in our drive-through area at 8:30, between 8:30 and 10, and pick up the book, and you don't even have to get out of the car. So a lot of seniors have been appreciative of that, and young mothers that's got kids that didn't necessarily want to get them out of the car and get in, and so it's been a very popular service.
And I think the board has talked about keeping that service for those two reasons, those that may be sick or afraid to get out. But the other thing, many times we forget about the young parents that don't want to take 3 or 4 children out of the car seat, go in, get the book, come back. They can do the pickup service. And this came about through the pandemic, and the Williams County Board of Trustees for the library is saying that this is probably something that'll last after the pandemic.
And let's talk about the Mayor's Challenge for another minute. The first prize, and now gamers are going to know what this is, and Mayor may know because he's got grandkids, is a Nintendo Switch. And the second prize is a $50 gift card. Third prize is a $25 gift card. And we're going to be doing this challenge for a while, so this is probably going to be phase 1 of the challenge. So stay tuned and see what else is going to be coming up. And when you sign up for a digital card or a real card, you receive a packet. And it has, as Commissioner Webb mentioned, has seeds from the seed exchange. It has a library card that you can bring to the library and fill out your application on the website, or you can come in and fill out an application in person. If you sign up for an e-card and you decide you want a real card, as I call it, you can, after the 45 days, you can come in and get a real card. And then we have a magnet. Commissioner Webb likes magnets.
I do like magnets.
So, and a few other odds and ends. So you'll receive a packet, and I would like to present the mayor with one.
Thank you.
And Commissioner Webb with the other one.
Stay with us, Dolores. Thank you.
And thank you very much, both of you, for taking time today to come and talk about the library.
Well, I
Really
think one
appreciate
of the things that I think it needs to be pointed out, Dolores, and to Paul, is that we're all so busy anymore, even during COVID-19. It just seems like the day gets away from you. It goes into a week, it goes into a month, and the first thing you know, that period of time is gone. And when we were going through your budget last year, I think it's a perfect time between now and the next 90 days or to the end of May. That's a little bit more than 90 days. But to drive home this point, we would love everyone, 240,000 people, to have a library card or to be electronically tied into our system. Because there's just so much value in the reading. I was sitting here thinking as Paul was talking that the other night on television, I was actually doing some woodwork with a little project that I've got, and I had on the television and Dolly Parton. Of course, everybody knows Dolly Parton.
Imagination Library.
Imagination Library. And she started that as a basic program out of Sevierville. And then when Governor Bredesen was in office, he heard about it, and they had a conversation. And the next thing you know, 10, 15 years later, there's millions of books being mailed out, not in just Tennessee, but all over the United States, Canada, Europe, third world countries. And the whole premises behind it is just get children to read. If you can read, you will be a better student and you'll be a better citizen somewhere else down the road. You just can't do anything without the ability to read. And that reading starts with the parents, and in Paul and I's case, the grandparents, reading to our grandkids. I know I have 9 grandkids. I'm not sure how many you have anymore.
Well, we got 3, and you know, I remember very vividly when the first Imagination Library book came. My granddaughter was 2, and she ran, "Peepaw, you've got to read this. The book came from Dolly." And I'm like, wow, such an impact.
It is,
Yeah.
and I think about that same impact. You can only get so many books through the Imagination Library per month, but they can get all the books they want at
That's
the Williamson
right.
County Public
That's
Library.
right.
They can get all they want at our different branches that we have throughout the community. And they can read to these children to make them a better student. And in this mixed time we're having with children in school, children out of school, that's a whole different topic.
Yeah.
But children love to read books, or they love to be read to, particularly, and as grandparent, as a grandpa. Paul and I would both, there's nothing more enjoyable than having one of your grandchildren that you can read to and see them light up, and the words begin to mean something.
I think the Imagination Library is a wonderful program, and it's, just the child to get a book, and I volunteered with the organization. The book is in the child's name, so it's to them, and it's like a child getting their first library card. They're so excited because they have something that belongs to them. It's just to see a child's face light up because they're reading a book or they've gotten their library card is wonderful.
It opens up a world that many of the children, such in Sevier County, which, Dolly and her family background spurred this on, that didn't have that opportunity. And so, great support of that program. And it's, again, it doesn't cost anything to the children.
That's right.
And no matter where you are, all you have to do is sign up. And I think that's the thing. Some people think there's a cost of things, and really, you can go online for the Williamson County Library. Do we have a link to the Imagination Library? If we don't, maybe we should, Dolores.
Yes.
But these are the kind of things, when you go to the website, another point that maybe folks don't know is that if you have seen a new book that's out, you can request a hold for that. And if it's on the acceptable list, the library can order that or point you in the direction, because you have Interlibrary Loans. I just read a book that came from the City of Knoxville Library. They was shipped down to me. I read it, took it back to the library, and it got shipped back to them. Well, through an interlibrary loan. Many people are unaware of that. And then the same thing goes for anything that would be in a typical library collection. Ask your reference librarian, and many times you can ask that question online. So there's lots of resources that I think we're not using. And if you love to read, check these things out, because we have a great resource, and I hope that people will come out and help us with the Mayor's Challenge and say that you're here to get the Rogers Anderson card at the Williamson County Library.
That's right.
Well, I think another item that I want to bring up, particularly during this year and the year, unemployment in Williamson County has traditionally been very low in our county. When you compare us to the other 94 counties, we have 95 counties in the state of Tennessee, but when you compare our county unemployment, it's very low. And that's good from a standpoint of what Paul, as the budget chairman, has to deal with numbers and all the programs that we got to fund. But at the end of the day, I've never asked this question, so I wouldn't put you on the spot today, but I imagine there's a lot of people that use the library as a reference point to improve their work skills or how to do a resume, how to do some of the basic things. And with this program that you've got now, the e-card program, it can allow you to navigate from your own home quarters that maybe you in the past felt like you had to go over. Now, I encourage people to go to the library because I think it's good to get away. It's a quiet environment, it's a change of scenery, lots of things. But if you're a individual that's between the ages of 25 to 125, and you're looking for what's that next career, or how do I improve myself? Or now, we can do this on YouTube. You can tap in anything and learn how to make, plant, create, but you can also do that at the library in a different fashion, and I really encourage people. So that was the reason for the challenge. Are we getting the message out?
Yeah.
I think we do, but I think we could do better.
I do too. And it's still interesting to me how many people apply for jobs. You were talking about people looking for jobs and are not comfortable with an email account and how to use it. And just almost any job you apply for today, you've got to have an email account. So, that's one of the things that we provide. And we do give computer classes and Word classes and Excel classes and tools that will help people in the workforce too. So,
Well, and a couple of weeks, we're gonna close out 2020. And
Thank goodness.
thank goodness is the correct verbiage. But by April 15th, you gotta have your taxes done. And one of the services that is constantly being provided, as long as I can remember, is helping people
Tax
do their
assistance.
tax returns.
yes, United Way comes as part of their VITA program at the main library and a couple of the other branches as well. But that is a huge service. People really take advantage of that. So, sign up for a card and find out more about our wonderful system. And I so appreciate Mayor Anderson and Commissioner Webb coming today to talk about the library. And it's very easy to forget sometimes what's in your neighborhood, and that's a treasure, and the library is, and I want people to come and take advantage of it.
You can go into any of the branches to get a card,
That's
correct?
right. College Grove, Fairview, Nolensville, Bethesda, and Leapers Fork.
Any of those, you can get a Williamson County Library card. And they're all conveniently located for our county residents.
That's right. That's right. Well, thank you again, and we'll be right back.
Maria, so how's work?
It was fourth period biology. Our students just weren't getting how easily viruses spread. So Miss Bell and I had them role play a zombie virus outbreak. By the time they had all learned the lesson, all the living were dead. Hey, how's your job going?
That big sales meeting I planned? Next year, I might get to go.
Cool.
Thank you very much for joining us today, and my two very special guests, Commissioner Paul Webb and Mayor Rogers Anderson. And go to our website and find out more about what the library is doing, wcpltn.org, and also follow us on Facebook and Twitter. And until next time, explore your world and read.